this is the main screen. This is where you can talk to Sarah, ask it questions. Don't worry about the overdue tasks. I'm doing them. I just haven't checked them off. Anyway, so make sure my audio is set up correctly. We're in interview mode. We're in stealth mode. Dossier is, we're just going to pick this one. And we're going to start session. And then I'm just going to start reading these questions. So they'll be easy. And what we're looking for is the live transcript here to work. We're looking for questions to be detected. I'm looking for, for the transcriber to actually listen and wait and detect the full question rather than start answering and responding mid-question. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and lock in. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay. Walk me through your resume. Okay. Doesn't understand that. So what brings you here today? Before we dive in, is there anything you want to share about your background? Give me the quick version. Who are you and why are we talking? Canned response. Why are you interested in this position? Okay, I think there's something that's not wired up yet. Here we go. What do you know about our company? What do you know about our company? Why should we hire you over other candidates? Okay, see, I still see this over and over again. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay. What are you looking for in your next role? Okay. Company X. Okay. Why are you leaving your current position? Same response. What would make you stay at a job long term? Okay. What would you say is your greatest strength? What would you say is your greatest strength? Ooh, okay. Tell me about a weakness you are working on. No. Tell me about a weakness you are working on. Okay. Yeah, that's a canned response. What would your worst critic say about you? They would not say that. What is something you are not good at and have no interest in improving? What is something you're not good at? Yeah, that's the opposite. If I called your last boss right now, what would they tell me? Lies. I don't know. As you can see, it's still got some work to do. How about this here? Tell me about a time you worked under extreme pressure. No. Tell me about a time you were under extreme pressure. Okay. Describe a situation where you had multiple deadlines competing for your attention. There was more to that question. Um, how about this? How do you stay focused during repetitive work? No. How do you stay focused during repetitive work? Close, but no cigar. Tell me about a time you had to perform when you were exhausted. Come here, old man. Tell me about a time someone took credit for your work. See, it's doing the same goofy shit. Okay. It's getting like to tell me. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. Tell me about a time you identified a problem before anyone else did. If you could automate your entire job, would you tell us? That's not a terrible answer, I guess, but um, in real life, if somebody asked me if you could automate your entire job, I would say I can't read or write code. And That's all that I need to say. And they'd be like, oh, okay. This guy, he can't even read. What is the last thing you learned just for fun? No. How about this? Let's try. Let's kick off flex mode on. Okay. Yeah. Maybe flex mode is the ticket. Do you think AI will replace data entry jobs? See, not the right answer. Not the right answer. What are your salary expectations for this role? Let's see here. Okay, I mean, so that's not bad, right? That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, that's a good statement, I think, right? I don't know. I don't do interviews. Um, I'm not sure your background is the right fit for what we need. What I found is that my different background actually becomes an advantage because I approach problems from a fresh angle. What specific capability are you most concerned about? Okay. So something's happening here. Something's happening in here. Oh wait, we're not allowed to have music on YouTube or they'll sue you. So I better not get my singing going. Just kidding. Alright. Where'd you go, Claude? Honestly, we were looking for someone with more formal qualifications. Honestly, we were looking for someone with more formal qualifications. The analyzer doesn't detect that as a question. You've had a few jobs in the last few years. How do I know you will stick around? That's not a job though, bro. The Man of War stuff was more or less for like context of that's not the job. Do you have any other offers you are considering? No. Do you have any other offers you are considering? You should probably say something more cool than that. Tell me about a time you had a disagreement with a manager. See, okay, see what I'm saying? This tell me about thing, like when it says tell me about, it like flags this. Watch. Tell me about a time. Okay. What are you looking for in terms of compensation? $100,000. That is above our range. The best we can do is 80. Oh, hold on. That is above our range. The best we could do is 80. Is that a deal breaker for you? Question mark. All right. Well, we've got enough little tests here. So we see a couple things are good. We see a couple of things are not all that fantastic. Oh, there we go.
Related to what you're doing, productivity isn't just about working more, it's about working smarter. One effective way is to use the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused 25-minute intervals followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 such cycles, take a longer 15 to 20-minute break. This helps maintain concentration and prevents burnout while still being productive.
Cool. But whoever Pomodoro is, he ain't built like me, homie. Okay. Well, thanks for that. That is the, the meta awareness or whatever. When you're doing a task or you're doing something, Zero can see that, and it will give you a little, little pick me up. Like for example, I'll take a quick little second here, and then we're going to get into some debugging. All right, so watch this. So right now I'm clicking on Claude here, so it shows that. Okay. Now when I go click on this window, give it a second. Boom. Now if I go click on my terminal, boom. If I go click on, if I go click on Streamlabs here, Live Code Academy, Discord, right? It knows where I'm at, what I'm doing. It's not perfect yet. I haven't gone too buck wild crazy into all that stuff to like as far as like it knowing what type of activity is what. That takes some time. I don't feel like spending a week right now, just maybe not a week, but a few days or something, putting all that together yet. But that's there. So we have this. So let's slide this out of the way. We're going to bring Claude back in. All right. All right. So I just add a bunch of questions. Honestly, it's hit or miss. to go move into real-time web searches during the call. It's s'more. What's the move? Where do we go from here? I'll probably have to start getting some screenshots and stuff locked in. Alright. It is like 3 o'clock in the morning, so what are you gonna do? But they can't answer. Let's say engineer. They'll have us and we have a response naturally. It's generic. There's a pull from actual stories. Either the context format is clear. Use the context. Okay, what's happening? They'll treat some animal words. Okay, again, it's real. Okay, experience provided, context. Okay. Oop, too far. We just lock it in here, copy, paste. It's gonna look like that. You hit enter, and then it does this. Okay, it's vibing. So it'll vibe. So while it's vibing, let's go do some vibing of our own. And let me move this over here just in case it needs me to say yes to anything. Alright, so while we're doing that, let's check out the main dashboard. Basically, the coolest thing to look at here is the calendar. Now, this calendar is going to get, I gotta, refactor it a little bit or whatever. It doesn't fit on the screen perfectly. There's like all this room here, so I'm going to move that around. But I'll just show you. So, starting a new goal. So let's say you want to, man, what do you want to do? Somebody tell me something. Oh, that's right, there's nobody here. Everybody's asleep. So telling me what to do would be a good job. Yeah, see here, apply to 50 data entry jobs. Sure. Alright, so I want to apply to, man, can you spell? 250 data entry jobs by the end of January. Okay, you get my drift. In January, I am looking for the most repetitive. Man, how do you spell repetitive? You know, low management, low micromanagement, whatever, right? Possible. The end goal is to fully automate the position. Get a second job. Get a second data entry job. Allegedly. And we're going to say this is a high priority. This is obviously a career category. And we said we wanted to complete this goal by the end of January 2026. Alright, so what we're going to do here, create the goal. Sarah will automatically break this goal into phases, milestones, and tasks. So this still has some work to do to it as well. You know. But bada bing, bada boom. So it just made them, right? So this is kind of a simple task. Like, it doesn't really need to give me a task every single day up until the end of the month. It's more like, what's today's date? Oh yeah, here. Research how to apply to 50 data jobs. It's kind of bland. But let's look at this. What resources could I be using to find jobs? Any good sites? Okay, so ask anything about the task, have full context about the goal, phase, and milestones. So each individual, sleep is coming. Each individual task has its own chat thread, essentially. You can use search engines like Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, local newspapers, whatever, for your task of applying to 50 jobs. Make a list of keywords related to data entry work. Set up job alerts on the mentioned jobs website. Search keywords. Utilize the advanced search feature on each platform to narrow down location, salary, and experience. Okay, so basically you get the drift. If it gives me a task and I don't know how to do it, I can ask it to walk me through the task, give me websites, and it'll run web searches, whatever it doesn't already have in its training. I think it's an 8 billion parameter model that I'm using, so whatever, right? But yeah, it'll do web searches. It'll work the deal. You can put your notes here. My first note. Can't spell. Add your note. Boom. It's there. Little timestamp, right? So as you're going in here and you're doing your stuff, you can make notes to yourself. And then when you're done with it, you can mark it as complete. And it's there. But you can still go back to it. And this is your calendar. So if you want to go back and look, hey, how did I do this again? When did I start? Oh, well, that's a good question. Zero knows what's going on the calendar. Now, I haven't got it fully to the point where I can say, hey, what was on my calendar December 31st, 2025? Or like a recall, or what was on my calendar December 1st, 2025. But I will put that in there, and it will have recall. So if you did have a task and you were starting it off and you didn't remember and you needed help, hey, what was I doing? Where was I at? Because it keeps memories. And the memory is persistent. It's on your machine. It's local. It doesn't go anywhere. Unless you go in there into the files and delete a memory, it's going to be in there. Okay. But yeah, that's that. Eventually, this will be more, you know, more accurate, whatever. Instead of just activity saying like browsing or active or whatever. If I'm in VS Code coding, vibe coding, it'll say it. If I'm on Twitter just scrolling around, it should, it'll eventually tell me if I'm scrolling or if I'm reply guying or if I'm just messing around. It counts your keystrokes, counts your clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You should see that pop up there. Counts the keystrokes. For some reason, not yet, the app switching doesn't do anything. So like if I'm clicking on different apps back and forth, it should count those clicks here and count that I'm switching different apps. So I'm not focused on one task. I'm either using multiple windows to multitask, or I'm doing a little bit of something and I'm on Twitter, doing a little bit of something, I'm on Discord, playing around here, working a little bit. It'll track that stuff. Also, when I tie the current context window to the calendar and the quick stats to the calendar, let's say, for example, here, um, yeah, read the official documents for vibe coding. I love it. Reach out to potential members through social media platforms, right? About the launching a school community. So that's what was I saying? Sorry, I need to go to sleep here in a second. Yeah, but yeah, it'll track all that stuff, and then anyway, so oh yeah, I'm back to what I was saying. So let's say during 9 a.m. this was scheduled, and for 90 minutes, and that I should be reaching out to potential members through social media. So with that, hear me out. This thing should know if I'm on Facebook, if I'm on Twitter, if I'm on Instagram, right? And it should be able to know if I'm messaging people based off of, wow, this dude's typing a lot right now, and he's clicking, and he's doing this, and he's supposed to be doing this right now. Okay, he's on task. Or it's 9 a.m., I'm supposed to be doing this, but this shows that I'm, playing Rust or playing Grand Theft Auto or something, whatever, right? It'll know, okay, yo, you were scheduled a task at this time, you didn't do it, you avoided it entirely, you played video games the whole time. It'll start to create patterns of, that type of stuff. It's supposed to eventually naturally adjust my schedule. And if there's certain type of work that I just kind of put off or procrastinate on, after it picks up the pattern, it'll be like, yo, I've noticed that when it comes to debugging or doing this or doing that, you tend to slack or you tend to, skip steps, right? Stuff like that. So it's an accountability partner as well. So not only can it see my screens, but it does have the ability to control my mouse. It does have the ability to, control the keyboard or use keystroke commands. Um, It does have a learning mode, which is more or less of a placeholder right now. But when learning mode is set up, I don't know how difficult it's going to be, but we're going to try it out. I will be able to, use just natural voice or, messaging and say, hey, Sarah, look at where my mouse is. Right here. This is a button. For the first step is we have to find this location on the screen. We have to find this button. It's a static button. It doesn't move, right? Or maybe the button moves. We have to find the button and then click it. And then from there, the second step is something like that. I'm thinking about it. I haven't done it yet. I'm still researching and processing a better way to do that. But yeah, that's that so far. So far, VS Code is coming back and saying it did these things. So now I'm going to test those out. Probably not now. Probably do that when I wake up in a couple hours and go from there. But there we go. Another little video for you. And yeah, I'll get some more of the actual like vibe coding process of how I use Claude, VS Code, ChatGPT, Grok, how I kind of orchestrate them together. Um, yeah, it's probably too late into the video to even try to explain it. No one's going to watch this far. I will do it separately another day.